Hi guys. All right, today we're talking about minimum wage and how to compare jobs that you might want to have. So, minimum wage in the United States, well, I guess let's first talk about what minimum wage is. It is the minimum per hour that your employer, that's the person who employs you, your boss, can pay you. On the federal level, and federal means, like the whole United States, the government, that is $7.25 an hour. And then in the state level, in Minnesota, let's see, currently we are at $9.86 per hour. So if you are in a state that is different from federal, so the one that's higher is the one that trumps it. So if you live in the state of Minnesota and you are hired by somebody who's actually like an actual employer, and by that I mean it can't just be like your parents paying you to mow the lawn and only paying you $5 an hour. Well, your parents aren't reporting to the federal government that they're paying an employee, because technically you're not an employee, you're just doing a small job for them. If you are an actual employee of a job and you have a W-2, which means you fill out federal stuff for like taxes and stuff like that, then this is a requirement, unless you work in a business where they give you tips. So we'll have to talk about that later. But yeah, that's what minimum wage means. And remember, the state has to pick the one, the state has to have the one that's higher. So for our state, it is higher. So everybody in the state of Minnesota gets this minimum per hour. But like in Wisconsin actually is the same as federal, which means they're also $7.25. So it depends on the state you're in, I guess. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to try the assignment together, where you compare jobs, and you need a calculator for sure. This is a good question at the top. Why do you think a camp counselor can usually earn more by working at a day camp than a sleepaway camp? The reason why for that, by the way, is because they kind of consider it in your wages that you are staying there and eating the food there. So it's almost like they're taking out money out of your wages for room and board, which basically means that they are giving you a place to stay and feeding you. Okay, now these are 3 jobs, apparently. Part-time at Fred's Franks, which you can work afternoons. 12 hours weekly and that much weekly. So you're going to work afternoons, 12 hours total, and that much you get per week. Or you could work at the Willow Lake Day Camp and you're a counselor for 7 weeks and you get this much money. Or you could work at Jan's Cleaners, and that's a very specific schedule, 4 to 8, and it is $8.85 per hour. So you're going to need a calculator for this for sure. Don't just let me do it for you. So pause the video and get a calculator on your computer or on your phone and do it along with me. So the hourly wage for working at Fred's Franks. So the problem with this is that right here you see Fred's Franks. God, I hate that name. This place, they pay weekly, and this place pays for the whole season. This is all 7 weeks, you get this much money. And this place pays by the hour. So how do you even know what the best place is to work if you're thinking solely about money, which you shouldn't be generally, because you definitely care about, your happiness. The hourly wage for working at Fred's Franks, So you take the weekly amount and you divide by how many hours you're working. So that would be 100.8 divided by 12, which is $8.40. So at Fred's Franks, you get paid $8.40 per hour. The weekly pay for Jan's Cleaners. Okay, so let's see. It's $8.85 an hour, and this is how many hours? 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4 hours that you work there, but you do it 3 times a week, right? So if it's 4 hours per day times 3 days a week, that's 12 hours total. So to find out your weekly pay, you'd have to take $8.85 times 12, which gets you $106.20. What's the weekly pay for working at the Willow Lake Day Camp? All right, well, we know how much it is for 7 weeks, so if we take that number and divide by 7, again, this is pretty simple math, but the challenging part is being able to look at different ads and see which one actually, how they compare to each other, because they kind of make it a little difficult for you to understand. So which of these jobs has the highest weekly pay? Well, definitely the Willow Lake Camp, that's for sure. But let's also think about why it has the highest weekly pay. It's because you are there for the entire day at the day camp, where at this job you're only working for 12 hours, and this job you're only working for 12 hours. This does not say you're working for 12 hours, so you're probably working for the entire day. It's a little intense. What job pays the higher hourly wage? Jan's Cleaners or Fred's Franks? Let's see, Jan's Cleaners was $8.85 an hour. They just said that right on their advertisement. And Fred's Franks, we figured that out at $8.40 per hour. So it's definitely Jan's Cleaners. Assuming an 8-hour workday and 6 days per week, what is the hourly wage for working at the Willow Lake Day Camp? Okay, so 6 days a week for 8-hour days. So if I take 8 times 6, that is a total of 48 hours per week. So now if I take that $360 that you were making at that camp and you divide by 48 hours, you find out that working at the day camp only gives you $7.50 per hour. Which means maybe you don't want to work there. Or maybe you love working with kids at a day camp and it doesn't matter if you're paid a little bit more for working at Fred's Franks because nobody wants to work at Fred's Franks. I don't know. All right. So we did the first 6 problems together to kind of give you an idea of what this is like. And then your homework is the second set. So your homework is problems 7 through 16 on page 45 on this worksheet. And it's comparing Ray's department store, Camp Crestmont, and being a counter person at the Hamburger Barn after school. Ugh, I wish there was a place called the Hamburger Barn around here because I would go there all the time just to say the name. Just to say the name. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.